Okay, ladies and gentlemen, friendly reminder, you do have a test tomorrow, 25 questions, of course. Your focus and your study guide are due tomorrow with your outline. You also have an extra credit opportunity that is due tomorrow if you are willing, if you want to. It is for 15 points. Bring me any type of disinfecting thing. I don't even care if it's just paper towels and tissues. I don't care. Anything that could serve a purpose in 2020 in March, I'll take it. Indiscriminately. Someone brought me hand bars of soap.
But what's the maximum amount of
3 items for 15 points. What? Sure. That's weird, but yeah, we can do it. Are they disinfectant? Or not, it's not for me. Yeah, it's not for me. The extra credit for the school. Yes, I bring all the bags. I have a ton of stuff over there already. All that stuff, I've already done 4 loads to the front office, and you'll see that some of the stuff is all over the school. There's tons of soap in bathrooms now. I'm not sure about the boys because you people are disgusting and things got wild again today. You people are
They got
gross.
wild today?
Yes.
Sick.
You can't possibly be proud of yourself today.
Zach, not wrong. Not wrong.
No.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen,
People were doing crazy in the bathroom and Bush went crazy on the intercoms.
yeah, you missed it. It was quite entertaining. Well, we are moving forward. So keep that in mind. If you are doing the extra credit, it is due tomorrow. It is for 15 points. Tomorrow is your last day of assignments coming in for this quarter. You have till Friday to finish. Keep in mind, I am not here on Friday because it's my baby shower this weekend, and my bestie's in town, and we're doing brunch at Oxford Exchange.
Overpriced,
Which is-
overrated.
Oh, you haven't had the avocado toast because the avocado toast is only $10 and it is bomb. And the little latte.
Oh,
I-
Like $2 if you actually spot the stuff at the grocery store.
$10 for toast.
It would be
Hello.
$6.
It is so pretty. I love it. Stop it. It's about me, damn it, Maggie, not you. Ugh. Moving forward. So, please make sure you are ready to go. Yesterday, we left off where? At schizophrenia? Perfect. I have a bunch of videos for you today if we get there. It's absolutely fascinating material, but we have a lot to cover, and we're going to move as quick as we possibly can. So, schizophrenia, I'm going to put it up here while I answer Zoe's questions so you can get down this stuff. Here we go. Zoe, you asked me about major depression. Major depression, when you think of people who are depressed, that is what major depression is. Cyclomethea is essentially bipolar light. It's an easy way.
What's the applications?
I would write bipolar light would be my application. Major depression, anyone with depression that you know of, or like for instance, Marilyn Monroe apparently had major depression. That would be my example. Or if you happen to know someone personally who has depression, like it's not blowing up their spot or something like that, or a famous celebrity or something like that. Like Robin Williams had depression, which is why he killed himself. Okay. Schizophrenia, ladies and gentlemen, is a severe disorder in which the person suffers from disordered thinking, bizarre behavior, hallucinations, and is unable to distinguish between fantasy and reality. Okay? So, these are the most severe. This is also the most rare. However, one of the interesting things about schizophrenia is that it affects every aspect of your life. So there happens to be more schizophrenics who are homeless than majority of any other disorder. So when you see people who are screaming on the side of the road talking to themselves, and you're like, oh my god, that person's like totally like being a schizo, right? Slang against schizophrenics. They probably are actually schizophrenics because there are more people homeless who have schizophrenics than the average populational stance of integrated into our society. Why? Because schizophrenia is so much individually, personally, and within a group of a family that it takes so much. It is much more complicated than other things because of delusions and hallucinations. When we talk about schizophrenia, we're talking about a psychotic. Psychotic is the break away from the inability to perceive what is real and what is fantasy. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you've ever seen The Hunger Games, yes? Used this reference twice today, once in Psych and once in AP World, so who knew? If you've watched The Hunger Games in the third one, the last movie, whatever movie it is, I don't know if it's fourth, I don't care. Peeta, remember he gets injected with the tracker jacket, venom or whatever, and at the end he's like, some of the memories that are shiny, I know are false, and some of the memories that aren't shiny are true. Yes? Remember how you can start differentiating with the treatments that they're doing? With that being said, that's essentially what happens with people with schizophrenia who are on medication. The medication allows them to kind of manage, figure out what is real and what is fake, but they still experience the hallucinations, which you're going to hear a schizophrenic talk about his delusions, and it's going to creep you out. So, when we talk about schizophrenia, we have positive symptoms. Is that it? Yes. Sure, not a problem. Lauren, can you go talk to Miss Melnick? Yeah. Okay, watch my video, my darling. I'm going to fill in pretty much all this, and we'll all be done.
I'll leave it.
Okay. Positive symptoms are symptoms of schizophrenia that are excessive behavior or occur in addition to normal behavior. So, positive symptoms does not mean, oh wow, schizophrenia is so great. This is like the plus side of being schizophrenic. No. It means, and this is what I'd write in your application, it's in addition to normal. So, a person who has positive symptoms for schizophrenia looks completely normal, talks completely normal. You wouldn't know they had schizophrenia because of the way they interact. Okay? That's a positive symptom of schizophrenia. Every person who has schizophrenia suffers from delusions, which is up at the top of your study guide, by the way. On the top of the page is where you see delusions. What are delusions? They are false beliefs held by a person who refuses to accept evidence of their falseness. You're going to meet a girl named Heather here in a few minutes. Heather believes she has kryptonite inside of her. Do you think a doctor in her family has tried to convince her she does not have kryptonite? Guess what she still believes? That she is kryptonite. She also believes that women don't get pregnant and men do. It's true. St. Drew already agrees. He's already down for it. With that being said, how many times do you think people have tried to convince her that men don't get pregnant? It's women. But guess what she still believes? Women get pregnant. Men get pregnant. That would be a truth. That's a delusion. When you've been confronted with information and you haven't changed. Now, delusional disorders are not schizophrenic. You may want to make a note of that. You can be a person who suffers from delusions, but you are not schizophrenic. Okay, so they are not schizophrenic, but a delusional disorder is someone who experiences lots of delusions, but don't have the other side effects of schizophrenia. Okay, and then we have hallucinations. Now, hallucinations is false sensory perceptions, such as hearing voices that don't really exist. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you know for a fact that Samantha Bennett exists because you can see me, you can hear me. Please don't, but you could touch me and you would know that I am real. But please don't. Look, it's 2020. Let's not touch me, please. Ew. With that being said, you know that I exist because you can hear me, see me, touch me. Well, ladies and gentlemen, people who suffer from hallucinations, guess what they can see of the demons, the devils, and whatever else? They can see them, hear them, and touch them. So, Rex says that there is an angel floating above me because he can see the angel. He can see it, he can hear it, he can touch it. How am I to convince Rex that this thing that he sees in his hallucination does not exist? Is it easy or incredibly hard to do? You can't. Because how do you know I exist? You can hear me, see me, touch me. People who have hallucinations also with these things that don't exist can hear them, see them, touch them, which is why they're so powerful. They're incredibly powerful and incredibly influential because they can hear them, see them, touch them, just like how you can hear and see and touch me. And you know the other people exist because of that same thing. When we talk about schizophrenia, we also have negative symptoms. Negative symptoms means below average. So, every single person has seen a person they've never met, they've never seen before, and you're like, there's something off with that person. Yes? Hello? You just like walk in, like you're at the grocery store and you see someone, and you're like, there's something wrong with that person. Like, there's just something off. The way they carry themselves, the way they talk, the mannerisms that they're displaying. You just immediately know there's something off with them, right? That is poor negative symptoms, which means less than normal behavior means poor attention, flat affect, or poor speech production. You're going to meet Heather in about 2 minutes, and Heather is negative symptoms of schizophrenia to a T. You can only understand every third word she says. You look at her and you know there's something off with her immediately. That's all negative symptoms. Then I have another schizophrenic who is paranoid schizophrenic, and he is positive symptoms. If you saw him on the street, you would think that he is completely normal. He is incredibly articulate, very clear with his language. But once you hear him start talking about his hallucinations, you're like, yup, that's a schizophrenic right there, because he's creepy as hell. Because, ugh. But you'll see. You'll meet him. He gives me the biggest creeps. Okay. So, what is flat affect? Flat affect is a lack of emotional response. These are people who have no emotion. You could walk up to them and punch them in the face, and they would be like, huh. And you would stare at them, and they would stare at you, and then you'd walk away being like, what just happened? That's flat affect. They have zero emotional response. Okay. Here we go. So, disorganized schizophrenia. Disorganized schizophrenia is a type of schizophrenia in which behavior is bizarre and childish, and thinking, speech, and motor actions are very disordered. Okay, so disorganized schizophrenia is where things are all over the place. And I'm going to show you my girl here in a second, and it's a perfect example of disorganized schizophrenia. So, while I'm showing you the video clip, I would be copying some of this information into your focus, by the way, so you're using your time as effectively as possible. But I'll let you finish copying it down, and then I'm going to show you Heather. While you're watching Heather, you should be kind of making notes on your focus. Use your time as effectively as possible. What number is this on your focus? Which one? 8, perfect. Okay, so this is Heather, and she is a disorganized schizophrenic. And she has negative symptoms.
Heather, we have to go back, you know that. What do you realize that I have a monopoly over the coffee industry? Okay, and so that's the problem, isn't it? That's the complaint, right? Well, I have kryptonite in me. You know what that is, don't you? Kryptonite? And, so if I have kryptonite in me and I drink coffee and soda, and no one else knows what to eat. I mean, do they run eggs? Do they run eggs? Do you eat raw eggs?
Hi, we started at, she owns a monopoly of Pepsi and Coke. Then she said she had kryptonite. Then she started talking about how she likes raw eggs. Does that seem a little all over the place? Hello? That's disorganized. Okay? So, she's all over the place. The topic changes incredibly quickly. Disorganized schizophrenic. How is her speech? Awful. Looking at her, the way she talks, the way she carries herself, would you say can you tell immediately there's something off with her? Yes. So what type of symptoms does she have? Negative symptoms. Disorganized speech, chaotic language, can't really understand what she's saying. The fact that the way she carries herself is a little shaky and startling, you can immediately pick up that there's something off with that person. That is negative symptoms of schizophrenia. So
Wait a minute, I think boys get paid and girls don't. Yeah, it's true. But I eat raw eggs, but, do you eat raw eggs? Then what do you eat and drink? Is that the big problem? Do you know what to keep you sane, Bri? Is that a complaint? No?
She's talking to the film crew. This is her mother, who is just talking about how she would love to keep her daughter at home, but she can't because Heather is so much.
What is that?
What is that? Animal pie? How you do
Oh. Oh, Heather, is it a soap?
Huh?
Is Pornox a soap?
Pornox is a soap. Yeah.
So she wants to go to the
Oh,
store
and you want to
buy
go? You want to
Clorox.
buy some?
Yeah.
Is it a special kind of soap?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll stop on the way. You want to stop and get some? When we go back?
We're not going back.
Heather, we have to go back. You know that.
Well,
what you
I do nothing. Believe me, I do nothing. Okay?
You do nothing where, Heather?
Yeah, I do nothing. I don't care. I do nothing.
Well, Heather, we're going to have to go back.
I gotta show you that. I gotta teach the next step. She makes a couple of really fascinating comments, but we don't have time for it. Okay, so catatonic schizophrenia is your next type of schizophrenia. It is a type of schizophrenia in which the person experiences periods of statue-like immobility, mixed with occasional bursts of energetic, frantic movements and talking. So it is much more physical than it is verbal. Like my girl Heather, you could tell she could talk all day, yes? From one topic to the next. Catatonic schizophrenia is more physical rather than verbal. So, and I have a quick little video clip I'm going to show you of a catatonic schizophrenic. And while I'm showing you that, you should be writing this in your study guide or focus, whatever you're the opposite. So for your application for disorganized schizophrenic, I would write Heather from the video, help you remember. Because the reason why I show you videos is not for entertainment, but it makes it easier to remember. Would you agree? Okay, so here's what a catatonic schizophrenic looks like. So you should be copying this down into your focus as I pull it up.
Okay, please go.
Okay? He kind of freezes in
Think
space
carefully about
and
what
holds
I'm
weird
asking you to
positions.
do. When I put my hand out, as though I'm going to shake your hand, don't take it. I do not want you to shake my hand this time. Okay, that's fine. Just try and
Hold on to weird positions. Okay? Can't
Except
adjust
you-
easily.
feel that there's something not quite right.
Resistance to movement. All of these types of things. Jerkiness, all of that. So any type of physical
Shake my hand,
component
Peter.
is going to be catatonic schizophrenia. Everyone okay on that one? Okay. So your next type of schizophrenia is paranoid schizophrenia, which is the most talked about, most discussed. Paranoid schizophrenia is what you've probably heard about when you talk about schizophrenia, because these are the people who come up with the crazy plans that the government ends up finding conspiracy theories and all that stuff. Like the Unabomber was a paranoid schizophrenic. He thought the U.S. government was trying to kill him and stuff like that. So what is paranoid schizophrenic? It's a type of schizophrenia in which the person suffers from delusions of persecution, grandeur, jealousy, together with hallucinations. These are people who think the government is out to get them and that the government is spying on them. Some believe that the government has inserted a chip into their brain to track their every thought. We talk about grandeur. There's some people who believe they're the second coming of Christ. that they're Jesus and they can do the same miracles that Jesus can, stuff like that. Jealousy is people who literally try replacing people, kill people, and then replace them. Have you heard these stories? That people enter people's lives and then they get murdered, and that person tries filling the void and like replaces that person. You've never heard of those? You gotta watch more Dateline, people. Okay. Every once in a while, you get a story of a schizophrenic who takes over another person's life, and they kill that person, and then like marry the wife, take over the kids, and then want to be called the dead guy.
The wife just goes with it?
No, the wife obviously starts getting. It's not like all at once. It's like a slow transition.
It's crazy.
It is crazy. It's pretty wild. All right. So as you're writing down paranoid schizophrenia, I have a video to show you. I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to show you the full thing because my man goes off and goes into some crazy rant that I cannot show you at school. So before you even get cranky that I'm about to cut it off, just don't. Because I am not going to show it to you anyway. You should be writing this down twice there, Dennis. Come on. You're the one who has nothing down. Let's go. No. That's not what I want. Where are you, creepy man? This guy gives me so much anxiety.
And he looks normal.
Yes. Well, like, you wouldn't stop him on the side of, like, you wouldn't look at him and be like, yeah. Is it this one?
Once my brainwaves.
Where is he? I just had him.
In fact, I've
That's not Bob. I don't want Bob. Bob's got his own thing. Shit, where are you? I literally just had, this is so annoying.
Hit the right signal, which shows them up.
About 3.
I want you to go.
I told you. I told you.
Blurred.
Alright, he is an actual person. His face is blurred. He gives me, anxiety. So, I am going to cut it with like 20 seconds to go, so don't even fuss about it. You will hear he has positive symptoms of schizophrenia, which means he is very clear, he's very articulate. Also creepy as hell. Enjoy him. Or not.
So your official diagnosis is schizophrenic psychosis. Is that correct?
For the time being, yes.
For the time being? How do you mean?
Oh. My illness does not really fit, in any medical definition.
It makes me so uncomfortable and he just yawned. Ugh.
Sorry.
Could you describe to us your illness and your symptoms?
I suffer from hallucinations. I see and feel and hear things that are not real.
Sorry, is that funny?
No.
No, this is way older.
What kind of medication are you getting?
Yeah, it's schizophrenic.
Drugs.
Schizophrenic.
Antipsychotic drugs.
Do they help?
Yes.
So the medication makes the hallucinations go away.
No. But they help me decide what is real and not real. They help me understand that I don't have to obey and do everything they say.
When you say they, what exactly do you see?
Demons?
Even now? In here as we speak?
Yes.
Where?
Right there, right behind you.
Right behind me. Does he say anything?
Yes.
What does he say?
He tells me to hurt you. He wants me to hit you. He wants me to cut you. I'm tired now.
There you go. Paranoid schizophrenic with positive symptoms. Was he clear? Was he articulate? Okay. You like the guy?
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
Boyfriend material.
Real boyfriend material. Okay. Causes. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would take a photo of this because we're running out of time. So, and I know you will need this. And this is apparently very hard to find in your book. Please don't get me in the photo. I know I'm in the way, but help a girl out. Okay, and then you need a biological as well. Okay, I am going to scroll through the rest of the PowerPoint real quick as before you guys head out, so you could watch the video and get the rest of the content. So, personality disorders, antisocial, borderline personalities. Okay, here are the causes of it. So all you have to do is if you open up the video that I'm recording right now, it will have all that stuff for you. Everyone good?